How's it going? It is Tuesday. Yay for Tuesdays, right? To just make every day great. It doesn't matter what day of the week is. So today is what I call Teacher Tuesdays, but really and truly, this is a lesson for everybody. More than anything, I'm pulling it out of my teacher mind to share with you. I wanted to talk about building connections. If you catch this live, if you'll give me a live in the comments, if you catch it afterwards, give me a hashtag replay, just because I like to know who's watching and I want to connect with you and I want to say thank you for connecting with me, because today is all about connections. And so you may be thinking, well, Kaylee, I'm not a teacher. What does that have to do with me? It probably doesn't feel like it has anything to do with you, but at the end of the day, it really does, because this can be in your daily relationships. This can be with your own children. It can be with your coworkers. It can be with anybody in your life. A positive environment isn't just about the aesthetics, it's about the tone, the respect, the collaboration, and just for the love of people around you. And so today I just wanted to talk about how you can make people feel inclusive in your life. How can you really build those meaningful connections in your life? It's critical. No matter what industry you're in or what you're doing in life, relationships and connections are so important. And so I think I have a 10 different tips. I don't even remember how many I came up with, but I came up with some real quick tips I wanted to give you today. And I'm going to go through them quick as always, because I go fast. And at any time, if you feel like that's something that you really need to work on or something that you have been working on and you've seen success with it, please share with me in the comments. I would love to know, and I would love to just, talk to you about your success and helping you build, meaningful relationships. So the first thing is just getting to know people. Just get to know them. Take time to learn about people's hobbies, their interests, their backgrounds. And when you're talking to people, ask them questions, listen actively, and show curiosity in their life. Because when you sit down with a person and you actually start asking questions and you start really listening to them, they're going to think you're interesting because you took the time to pay attention to them. It's massive. It's crazy how it really affects people. The second one is be approachable. So create an environment around you that makes people want to approach you, that makes people want to ask you questions or want to know more about you. And when you do, like I said at first, when you get to know people and you take time to actually get to know people, you're really going to see that it's easier to be approachable and people are going to start feeling like you're approachable. If you're at home, if you have kids, if you're in a job or whatever the case is, find ways to do small group discussions. So I like doing this with my kids in the car. I try to find ways to build activities within the car or within whatever we're doing to have discussions where they can actually communicate with each other and helping them communicate. Anytime you're able to put multiple meaning or multiple mindsets together, multiple ideas, opinions, perspectives, all kinds of different interactions and collaborations happen. And it can happen even in your own family, which kind of sounds crazy because you're like, yeah, they're my kid. But it really opens up that comfortable environment. And you would be surprised at how different it is. If you have a comfortable environment, if you're a parent and your kids have a comfortable environment, then they're able to talk to you about uncomfortable things a lot of the times that maybe they weren't able to do before. Celebrate diversity. So even though they're your kids, we had this conversation this weekend with some of my teammates. And it's funny because they're like, as parents, we're sports lovers. So we push sports on our children so much. But little did we know, our son didn't care about sports. Our son was super artsy. He was very much into the arts and craft, not necessarily crafting, but he loved to do artistic type things. And so all the different activities they were trying to put him in, he wasn't successful at it because he didn't like it. And so we have to remember, as parents, as bosses, as business owners, as friends, diversity is huge. And even though as a parent, you want your kids to follow your footsteps or to be in the things that you're into, it doesn't always work that way. And so when there's something that your child or maybe a coworker or whoever, like I said, we're talking about anybody in your life, whoever it is, find something that they really care about and that they enjoy. Celebrate that diversity, even if it's not something you like. They like it. It makes them better. It makes them feel great about themselves. So celebrate it. Another big one, show empathy. So be understanding and empathetic towards people in your life. So acknowledge that they're going through struggles, support their struggles, help them understand that Maybe you haven't been in that exact situation, but you feel for them and you feel for the things they're going through. Again, that just shows them that you care. It just allows you to be approachable, and it just shows other people in your life that they have a support system. Because sometimes I've learned a lot that sometimes things that are very small to me that doesn't really bother me bothers my husband massively. He's just like so tore up about it, and I'm like, "Babe, it's not that serious." And so we have to be really empathetic in who we're talking to and the relationships. And then just when you're meeting new people, or maybe you've been around people a couple times and you know who they are, use their name. When you use somebody's name, it's crazy how it catches their attention, and it really makes them feel like, wow, they're actually paying attention to me. They know me. It makes them feel inclusive. I've already said this once, but I'll say it again. Actively listen. Pay close attention to other people when they're talking to you. Show a genuine interest in them. This right here, I feel like in the world and the society we live in, it's just doesn't happen very often. We're so much into technology. We're on our phones, we're watching TV, we're multitasking all the time. This one is critical with your children. When your children are talking to you, actively listen to them. And my kids know that there's times I'm working. Right now I'm working. Right now I'm, doing all the things for my job, for my business and all those things. And so I'll have to tell them like, "Hey, I want to talk to you, but I want to be able to listen to what you're telling me. So can you please give me just a couple seconds or give me a couple minutes and then let's have this conversation?" Because if not, what happens is I'm here working, yeah, and then I don't even catch anything that they say, right? And so just make sure that you're actively listening to the people in your life. And then share positive feedback. Recognize and praise the people around you when you notice their efforts and their achievements. So this summer, I've put the boys on some house chores because they're home, right? So, and they're the twins, they're 8. One of them does dishes and one of them helps with the laundry. And one day I came in here and Cody had just he blew my mind because he came in and he did such a good job on the clothes. He actually was folding them in the same way that dad and I would have folded them and all of that that stuff, right? And so I really reinforced that. So as a child, we want positive reinforcement, but as adults, positive reinforcement is massive too. Because if you're a business owner, if you're working with somebody, you're working on a team, when you're positively reinforcing those great things and those efforts and those achievements, you're going to continue to get that effort and that achievement. If somebody feels like they're putting in a lot of time and they're not getting praised for it, even though, we're adults, we don't have to praise each other. No, you do. You have to. The human body needs that. They need that feeling of acceptance. They need that feeling of success. Another one is one on one time. So we have 5 kids, 4 of them live with us, and it's important to have that one-on-one time. Colton and Carson get a lot of that right now because they're working together, but we try to make it a point to do different things with the different kids. There's times that I'll go to Walmart and I'll just take one of the twins with me because I want them to have some one-on-one time. I want them to be able to discuss different things that maybe they're not comfortable discussing around everybody. We all have those moments and those times where we want to talk about something, but we really don't want everybody to hear it in the family because you know how siblings are. They'll make fun of each other and laugh and all of those things. So even as a parent, find a way to have some one-on-one time with your kids, or in your business, find a way to have some one-on-one time with your employees to just make sure, check in with them, check in that they're doing okay and that everything in life is flowing the way it needs to, and just make sure you're on the same page. Another one is collaborative projects. So same thing in your family. Do things as a family. Let your kids help you cook. Let your kids help you do something, do a project. It just builds a better sense of connection. It builds a better sense of community. So find ways that y'all can do projects together that all of you can be a part of. It also allows you to have a really great time to communicate. You can talk about things that's going on in school. You can talk about things that's going on maybe in your job with your kids. We are very open with our kids in our business because we think it's important for them to know, like, yes, we're building businesses, but there's other things that, there's things that happen in a business that we want them to know and understand, because one day they may build a business and we don't want them to just think, oh, it's so easy, because building businesses is not always easy, right? And so we are very open in what we do in our lives. And so find ways that maybe you can do a fun activity and you guys can all talk about that, and then respect the voices. So even though I know I kind of keep gearing it back to kids, but I feel like it's important for parents to understand too. So even though they're little kids or even though they're children, it's still important to respect their voices and their opinions. And that's a conversation we have in our household all the time is like, that's okay if you don't like that. That's your opinion, and we're all entitled to that. But we don't need to tear each other down because you don't like that. And, we have that conversation with the kids all the time. And with the twins, they're really going through this identity thing. It's like they're figuring out themselves and who they are and where they want to go and what they want to be. And so many times, excuse me, so many times one twin will say, "Oh, I don't like that. Why do you like that?" And we try to explain to them that, hey, just because you're twins and people think y'all are the same person, you're not. You're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to like certain things that the other one doesn't. And so it's very important that as parents, as bosses, as business owners, as friends, respect the voices of others, because you're going to have different opinions. But just because someone has a different opinion than you doesn't mean you can't be friends. It doesn't mean that you can't hang out or anything like that. It's okay to be different. If we were all the same, then what fun would that be, right? So, anyways, building connections takes time and effort. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of being intentional in your actions and what you're doing. And so I hope that this kind of just brings some things to light. Like I said, if there's some things that you've been focusing on and working on, please share it with me. I love to collaborate with you and just talk to you about what you got going on. But just remember, creating that positive, inclusive environment in your life not only makes you feel good, but it really connects with the people around you and the people that you have in your life and in your circle. And so that's all I have for you today. I'm Kaylee. I'm the teacher of finances. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Wednesday, Networking Wednesdays.